Good morning. Sorry for the quality of this photograph. It's a picture of the map for the land of the world of Aihrde, which is the lands of Ursal. This is the campaign uh, book I'm planning on using for any of my OSR campaigning or sessions in future. So I just want to talk a little bit about the size of this because it's pretty striking when you lay it out on the map, and I got the feeling it was much, much, much bigger. I mean, it's big, but when you just first lay it out on the map, you get the sense that it is epic, and it is epic, but not quite as epic as I thought. So to give you an idea, uh, an inch is 20 square miles on the map. So this world map is 710 miles across, 465 miles tall. It is 330,150 square miles. And to give you a clue as to what that is, that makes it a little bigger than Texas. The square mileage of Texas is 268,597 square miles. Texas is the second largest state. It makes it about half the size of Alaska, which is 668,400 square miles. And Australia, the continent of Australia, is only 678,000. Not only, but 678,000 square miles. So this fantasy kingdom, this fantasy world, is about half the size of both Australia and Alaska. And again, to give you an idea what that means, Europe itself, all of Europe, is 10 million square miles. So it puts in perspective, really, that this is about the size, a little bigger than Texas, and about half the size of Australia. The United Kingdom, just the island of the United Kingdom, is 94,058 square miles. So we can see how the island, the United Kingdom island, where it is in mass, which would be the size of England in our Dark Age of Man world setting for our game, Dell and I's game, Dark Age of Man. Not counting Ireland, the island of Ireland, which is also part of our England world. So anyway, just gives you an idea of how big this is. Again, I've said before, plenty of space. You don't need a large world to have remarkable campaigns and adventures and stories. But what it does do is it gives this it leaves open the idea of epic travels, epic or areas of the world that are really culturally different than other areas of the world. I mean, for instance, England. I mean, we'll have three basic kingdoms and a lot of little things going on. But England, for the most part, might have a handful of cultures that are, but they're not going to be vastly different than, let's say, the Northmen would be on this map. Let's say the far reaches of the north to the far southern cultures. You could actually see big differences in kingdoms and in cultures, which is kind of neat, right? And again, something like Gelderland, that gigantic forest. I mean, that forest there alone, by the pencil in the picture, and I put the pencil there to give you an idea how big the map. And again, the edges of these maps cut off here for the video. But again, you could spend and Angleme will probably be where I start the characters when I begin sessions. But it'll depend a lot on what the book, the Codex of Aihrde, has to say about Angleme and these culture here, these castles. But I really like the what I see on the map here of Angleme when I'm preparing what I want to do and how I want to start the OSR stuff. Angleme just looks like a great place to start, but we'll see. Again, I will do a lot of research on the world before I drop the players in. I want it to be an interesting place. And then, of course, there's always vast travel, which is part of what makes the Tolkien books so interesting, is they travel a long way to achieve their goals or to fight the enemy or whatever, which is just part of the joy of these fantasy worlds, is the mystery that lay beyond the mountains, the mystery that is the mountains, the mystery that's in Gelderland, the forest there. So anyway, there you have it. But I just want to talk about that. I thought it was interesting. When I first got the map and laid it out, I thought, gee, many Christmas this is. This is the like the planet, right? But it's not. It is, according to their measurements, 1 inch is 20 miles. And that would be about the average you could travel in a day, which is also very cool. It's pretty, I mean, I think the Romans, when they were in full march and full gear, the Romans, according to Caesar, could do 35 miles in a day in a full, even loaded with full gear, full march on the go. The Romans could make almost 35 miles in a day. So that was, that's pretty epic. But I think on average, horseback or really moving on foot, 20 miles a day. So that's kind of neat. You could use this map with a simple 1 inch token, and you could do a hex crawl without hexes here, right, as to how far you might move in a day, that kind of thing. So, of course, modified by terrain, but very cool. Anyway, I just thought it would be interesting to talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to talk much about the details of the world until I decide on where, and then what I'll do is a little video just kind of as a so it'll be very easy to send the players to that video, so the players can get an idea of where they're starting and what's going on in the region they're in. I don't expect the players, and I wouldn't like real life. You grow up in small town Kentucky, you know about your town, and you know about the gist of Kentucky, so to speak. And of course, if you study beyond that, you can know more. But something like Detroit would be so foreign to somebody who grows up in a small town in Kentucky. Detroit is legend. I mean, it's just a place that people talk about. Until you've been there, you don't know Detroit. And so I don't burden the players with understanding the entire lore of the gods, etc., etc. That would just be, we make some assumptions that these characters some of them may well study and know well some of this lore. That's part of the joy of the guy who plays the cleric, saying, I understand the relationship of the gods and the dead, But not everybody in the world will care, right? They're going to be concerned about survival. They're going to be concerned about, getting their money and treasure and going on adventures and killing monsters and etc. So this is one reason I love general kind of fantasy gaming, is the overall world history just doesn't matter a whole lot when it comes down to the initial launch of characters in the world, unless, of course, for some reason you're playing epic high fantasy campaigns, and then maybe all that stuff shows up. So anyway, just want to talk about that, but I thought it was interesting that this is basically this entire world, the lands of Ursal, is about half the size, literally 330,000 square miles is half the size of Alaska. So the state of Alaska, this world Alaska could fit this world twice over in it, which is pretty cool. And of course, Australia could fit this world twice over in it. So it gives you an idea how gigantic Alaska is, right? I mean, born and reared here in America, and we know how big Texas is and California's coastline, and this talk about how huge Texas is, which it is, 268,597 square miles. But then we all kind of forget the Alaska up there, right? And I didn't look at Hawaii, but I'm sure Hawaii is smaller than the United Kingdom, but I don't know. Of course, I think Hawaii has 6 islands, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not a geography expert, so I'm probably embarrassing myself there with some of that. But the point is, I didn't look at Hawaii. So anyway, very cool. I just wanted to share this. So this will be this is the Troll Lords Games world setting for Castles and Crusades, and I will be using it for 3d6 in order. So thanks for watching. Good day.